Hello, 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 and welcome back to another TSL show review. And today I am writing solo dolo because one of our co-hosts is doing big things in life, and because she's doing big things in life, and she normally does the review for Beverly Hills with me, I am moving solo dolo. So, as you guys know, normally do this on Sundays, couldn't do it on Sunday, had an event prior to, so we had to push it back till today. And you guys might be lucky I love you enough because I had stopped eating crabs to come up here and talk about today's live stream. And today's live stream, we're going to have us a serious talk about about um about this whole seeing color theory, this whole seeing color aspect of things. Um, this is the second time this has been brought up, and as a person of color, I've sat back and I've realized a few things when it comes to seeing color. So, but we still have a lot to get into. We have Erika speaking too soon. We have this whole situation with yet again talking about the RHOBH and this alleged robbery stuff. You guys all know I hate talking about things over multiple times, but I guess I'm just gonna have to suck this up because this is the only thing that we're talking about with her. Nothing else is really important in her life, so we're just gonna continuously talk about um, her and this story. And we have to get on Crystal. I love Crystal, but Crystal, we have to get on you this go around, sweetheart. Crystal says some. Crystal doesn't say anything pretty damaging, but her word choices are very. Um, how can we put it? She can't. She makes sentences sound worse than what they are. The word choices that she uses implicates things that are 10 times worse than what the actual scenario is. So, because of this, we now have to talk about her and this story. So let's just kick the episode. Let's just kick it off and jump right into it and start off what we pick off with. Now, if you guys didn't know, at the last episode, Crystal did leave and went back to her hotel. She cut the scene short because of these ladies and their lack of validating these people's personal experiences. So, on this episode, we kick back off what happens the next day, and yeah, let's just pretty much get into it.
Over the bridge a little bit, and you go, you can at least catch your breath. Yeah, I'm far from done, but I can at least catch my breath now. 12 months now, I have been dragged through the mud for something that didn't do, never happened. And
I think
have
one of the reasons, though, is that you didn't show any compassion. You didn't show, like, oh my God, I hope this didn't really happen.
I really hoped it didn't.
I know, but you didn't say that.
Yeah, but I can't.
Why can't you say that?
No. Because when you're in a legal situation like that, every word counts. We're not even sure that there were people that weren't paid.
You're saying that we don't know for a fact that these people weren't paid, these victims?
That's right, exactly right.
You mean that there's a chance
There's
that
a
they
chance.
can be lying?
No way.
Yeah, way.
These victims are regular people. Why would they be coming after Tom? Why would all these lawsuits come about if they were paid? They would just go live their lives.
We still don't have all the facts. That's what I keep saying. This isn't wrapped up. It doesn't matter what someone claims.
It also snows in Pasadena.
All right, so let's just jump right into it. Erika, once again, let's speak on you getting your karma. I spoke on this last episode, but I'm going to speak on it again. you cannot use this as a reason for you to act the way that you do. Yes, it is sad. Well, it's not sad. Yes, it's an inconvenience that you got stuck on your husband's stuff on your behalf because he's deemed like he incompetent. The man's in a is in a home. I mean, not a homeless shelter. The man is in a old people's home. He's not really doing the stuff that he's supposed to do for court. His legal team and stuff is handling all aspects of the things for him, and you're getting stuck with the lesser half. Now, you can't necessarily can't say you get stuck into the lesser half because I've actually sat back and I've read the article of this. And the reason why I have this labeled as karma is because she spoke too soon. And for somebody who said that she doesn't want this, meaning these legal stuff, to be talked about on the show after last season, you constantly keep talking about it. And because you constantly keep talking about it, this gives people the reason to have the ammo and ammunition that they do to basically knock you off at every turn that you do, because every time you say something, it comes right back around and you get deemed a liar. You hate being called a liar, but everything that you say dealing with this stuff happens. Now, as far as the whole apology stuff, that's great that you apologize to everybody. Apologize to Sutton as well, because you went hard on Sutton for something that all the ladies talked about. Yes, she called you a liar, but you lied on multiple occasions. So it was deemed justifiable for her to call you a liar. Now, in the other aspect, thank you to Garcelle for saying what everybody else has been saying this whole entire time through this legal process and the stuff that she's still going through. You cannot expect to have sympathy and gain sympathy from people when you constantly act the way that you do. And the simple fact that you have not and still have not acknowledged these people who have been through something so traumatic and have to continuously go through something traumatic because your husband stole all of their money, is still deemed like it's no coming back from that. And the fact that you said something about legal, like the legal aspect of things, and you're saying that they can twist it up in court, I'm quite sure that your attorneys and stuff have somebody who can write up a general statement that basically touches on all subjects of this matter. You can get your point across and then you can move on with your life. That's fine. This whole, you can't say nothing for legal action and these people are out here hurting and whatnot speaks for itself. Now, this talking about that y'all aren't sure that these people have gotten their money, and thank you, even though I'm not a big fan of her, Kyle, for saying it. If these people, these are ordinary, everyday people, why would these people want to extort you guys for the money that is so rightfully deserving of them? And the reason why I labeled this karma on her aspect is because right after speaking of this article pops up. Tom Girardi is disbarred. He's no longer a lawyer. And it's ordered to pay $2 million to plane crash victims. Now, for you guys who don't understand, I'm gonna just give you guys a brief thing of this. Tom Girardi allegedly stole money from widows, orphans, and burn victims, totaling up to the claims of the people who are suing him over a little under $1 billion, which is $507. To be exact, is $517 million in legal actions for all the stuff that these people are trying to sue him for. The reason that they are doing this is because they are claiming that Tom has showed off this fancy lifestyle and the way he does things with the money that was rightfully deserved and earned for them through the stuff that they had went through. Now, when it comes to Erika is involved in this because 55 million of those people's dollars were put into her business account by her husband. It's still your business account, so you're still going to have to deal with this. But yet again, you keep costing yourself, like, you keep taking L's Like you're taking L's back to back to back to back to back to back to back because you are steady saying stuff like this, and along goes what you're saying about everything being disproven. And there was never an article saying that anything that was said against you was disproven. It just stated that your court case was no longer inside wherever they were doing it at. Your cases were now taking place in California, means that these are where the places were filed at. And here we are yet again. You're speaking on something and saying the wrong things at the wrong time, and then karma is just coming right back around and is getting you again. He has to pay plane crash victims so far $2 million after him being disbarred with 10% interest. So it's like maybe like 2.5, I think they were saying, is what he has to pay so far. And you still have what, 515 and some change of alleged money that you still have to owe. So the folks aren't lying. And then we pick up on the next scene, which is Crystal coming in and speaking. Garcelle had got Crystal to come back to the house and to basically tell the girls about her experience or whatever. But things kind of take a turn for the worst. Not really the worst, but Crystal does something that puts the big three at odds for a little while. And we'll basically talk about that right now. So let me just go ahead and play the clip for you guys.
Holding on to this. Honest, I've been holding on to this, and I know what I'm about to say may be explosive.
Uh-oh. Oh, God.
I feel that when you and Sutton had your thing...
Are you one of those people that you don't see color? Tell me you're that girl. I don't see color.
I felt like no matter what she said, she could have said the sky is blue. You were going to say, are you that girl? Because I just felt like it was a setup.
Now that you know me, do you still think that?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'm totally blindsided by Garcelle's comment. Do you think, based on my entire personality that you've known for the last 2 years, that that's something I would do? It's so out of line and so out of my character. You weren't there.
No, I wasn't.
You were there. There was a lot more said prior to that.
Okay.
That was very dark.
Oh, wow.
See, and do you know, I wish we would have known that.
If that's your friend that you're standing up for, why would you then just say that she said some other things that are really dark and really bad? I would be pissed if I were Sutton.
It was the very first time I spoken to Sutton.
In Tahoe, in the bar.
You were there.
I know, but I don't remember the
You
part.
probably blocked it out of your head. You were drunk.
I do remember that conversation with Sutton. She's not here to explain, and now we're saying she said something dark, and I was there. I don't...
Okay, we're not going there.
Dark, and I was...
All right, so let's just speak on this and let's just get this done and out the way, because this is going to be an ongoing theme for the rest of this episode, which is everybody trying to figure out what was so damaging that Sutton allegedly said. And if it's what we're going based off of last season, with that clip that Crystal seen when she was like, tell me that you're that girl, when it came to race, Sutton said that she doesn't really see color. And I guess they had to talk it out. And after they talked it out, they were fine. So, speaking on this, for Crystal to throw Sutton, quote unquote, under the bus was a lot. Because you weren't speaking on what Sutton said. You were speaking on your experiences. And granted that you did speak on your experience for the woman giving you lack of validation on your feelings, and not only you, but women that are not quote unquote Caucasian in general that are on the show, meaning you and Garcelle, because you guys are the only two people of color that are actually on the show. That was supposed to be your talking point. Your talking point wasn't supposed to be, oh, well, this, and that. And while I'm at it, remember last year when Sutton said something so quote unquote damaging and it was so dark that I'm not going to say nothing about it, but I'm going to allude to something is a lot. Because basically saying that somebody said something dark in this case and knowing that the aspect that's dealing with race makes it seem like Sutton is coming off racist. And you can't really say that when she has a friend who is a woman of color. You're a person of ethnic background, you're not white, so you're a person of color. And you can't really speak on something like that and then not say what she said, because now it comes off as this, and it comes off on your part really too as kind of like ignorant and kind of slow. Because I'm not going to call you stupid. I'm just going to say it's kind of slow that you are still friends with her, knowing that you knew this stuff. And granted, you like later on in the thing you do say something that does help your case out a little bit, but it's still the simple fact that you didn't say anything. Like you just said she said something dark, but then you didn't want to speak on it. And they asked you multiple times in that scene, well, can you just say what she said? And you say no. You don't want to say it. So it's kind of like you just threw her under the bus just to get the ladies off your back. And it kind of caused a rift between you guys that you'll see when we talk about it on Sunday after the episode airs on Wednesday. And it doesn't look good in your part, Crystal. So future references, when you're doing stuff like this, if you're not going to spill the whole thing, don't say anything at all. Like, it's just that simple. We're not even going to discuss this too much because we're going to have to get into the topic a little bit more. But future references, if you're not going to speak on the whole situation, do not speak on it at all. Because that was just a waste of time. And now you have everybody looking a little bit crazy at Sutton at this point. And these girls are already looking at Sutton like Sutton has 3 heads, 4 tails, 2 extra legs, and 6 arms attached to her body. So this next part we're going to talk about this briefly so we can get back on with the rest of the review. It's called Binary. And this is why.
Group focus. So what triggered me was that I've been holding on to that.
You said, I don't feel safe last night.
Yeah, it's
What does that mean?
In my emotions in this group, that's how I felt last year. That's why I shut down a lot.
This doesn't feel like a safe space for you.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Saying something like, I don't feel like I'm in a safe space, just because a group of adult women don't agree with you, sweetheart, this is a vacation compared to what I went through.
All right. About to touch bases on this real quick and then we're about to move past this. For the people who do not know, Sutton did something to Crystal. She walked in with her. Sutton was giving Crystal back her jacket. Crystal was getting dressed. Sutton knocked on the door. Crystal didn't hear her. Sutton didn't give her jacket. Crystal felt like she was violated. Crystal spoke on it. All the ladies tried to say that violation was a strong word to use and that she shouldn't have done it. And basically, we're making it a whole big deal. Basically, give a lack of validation to her feelings. Once again, last week's episode, we talked about the lack of validation and she spoke on it and they did the whole thing. Now, as somebody who is coming new, because this is Crystal's second season, into a show with a group of women, and there's about 4 to 5 of you guys, if not all of you guys, because it was all of you guys for a brief moment coming at her last season. Her shutting down from expressing how she truly thought about the situation was valid. Because when you're coming into something new and there's 4, 5, 6, 7, like a group of women all like telling you like, no, you can't say that, it becomes a lot. So therefore, in order for it not to become a lot anymore, you just decide not to speak on it. And her saying that was valid. She doesn't feel safe around those women because yet again, here we are talking about our feelings and talking about this self-validation stuff and talking about validating somebody's personal experiences and how they feel. And Yet again, all you ladies tried to toss her feelings to a side for the sake of Dorit. Now, as we speak on this, because we know, if you guys haven't known by now, I don't like speaking on situations too long, but we're going to have to speak on this throughout the whole season because this is Dorit's only storyline. Because you have gotten allegedly robbed, Dorit, even though you got quote unquote robbed and your man paid off his debt that he owed for gambling problems. Nobody wants to hear this. I do not constantly, nor do anybody else, constantly want to hear about you being robbed at every instance, every turn, every single, everywhere. The girls that get on the plane, but why are we getting on the plane? I just got robbed. You see somebody in a tinted window. Oh my God, it's a car with tinted windows. I just got robbed. I don't want to see that. There could be a whole thing that goes on. Well, it's not that serious. It can't be that hard compared to what I went through. I got robbed. All right, girl, this is the second time you got robbed. You just happened to be home this time. We get it. We do not want to keep hearing about every situation and everything about you. You're steady talking about you're getting robbed. We don't care. It's irrelevant at this point. You got robbed. Your man paid off his debt. Like, kudos to y'all. Y'all playing down the plan and didn't think anybody would know and people clocked onto it. Great. Moving on. Nobody wants to hear about this over and over again. If you're not going to talk about something else and give us something else, please stop talking about you getting robbed because you getting robbed is getting you and getting us nowhere. So, the next event that happened, and which was basically the length of the rest of the episode, was Sutton's event. Sutton had an event, and this is where we have to get onto the serious topic about seeing color. And we have to get into it real quick. So before we get on there, another scene happened. Lisa Rinna's mom is in the hospital. She wasn't able to make it at Sutton's event. Later along down the line, we will get the fate of Lisa's mother, and we'll kind of touch bases on it as the season progresses because she says some things and she does some things and she kind of breaks the fourth wall throughout the rest of the season, like in reality, about talking about this show. And it's kind of not in her best favor. And then she kind of gets sent into it with one particular person who we have not seen yet online in reality, meaning this time. And she basically tried to make a justification for going so hard on her. And she kind of does it really hard. And the things that she speaks on and how she speaks on things does not give her a right to, especially given on how she feels about certain things that she does, and she contradicts herself and does the same thing. So we'll get on that. Prayers are going out to Lisa Rinna's mom. And before we get on to the rest of the scene, we have to talk about the situation with Dorit one more time. Dorit pulls up to her party, to Sutton's party. She sees paparazzis and she thinks that Sutton is insensitive and doesn't care because she had paparazzi there, knowing what knowing what Dorit had went through. And I'm just going to say this, and we're going to leave Dorit alone. Dorit, everything does not revolve around you. Granted, you got allegedly robbed, and your man paid off his debt with it, because I'm going to continuously say it because that's what happened. I don't understand how you expect for somebody to not give her business the exposure that it's supposed to get because of your situation. If you didn't want to be there because paparazzi were there, you should have simply just not have gone, or you shouldn't have did anything you did and just did what you did during that scene and went inside and didn't stop at the paparazzi's. What, you didn't get any pictures of yourself? You didn't get a picture of you in your outfit, so you feel some type like I really don't understand what's the point of that whole thing right there. And because we have to continuously keep doing this stuff, we're going to continuously keep speaking on it. Girl, it does not revolve around you. This was her event. It was not your event. You sat there and you were mad because paparazzi were there, but yet though you were on national television talking to your friend at Kyle's event about your robbery. And a lot of people are saying, oh, that's her friend, that's her friend. She felt safe with it. All right, girl, that's your friend. And you felt safe with talking to her about the situation. So regardless if paparazzi was there or not, you talked about your friend, so it's on the internet. It's public knowledge now. So they don't even have to talk to you because guess what? You talked to your friend on it at Kyle's event. So all they have to do is go look at the clip and find it. The rest of the only question that they asked was, how is she feeling? How is she feeling about the whole thing of the situation? Like, that's the whole thing that she was talking about. It was nothing else that serious. No. Go with my mom. That was the whole gist of the situation. At the end of the day, don't show up if you don't want to be there over paparazzi's sake. But the next part that we get into is Kyle stirring the pot. And we're at Sutton's event, and Kyle just had to bring up the situation with Crystal at her event.
Let me ask you a question. Is everything okay with, like, you and Crystal?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking because we had a very awkward conversation at my house.
There was a lot more said that was very dark.
Crystal said something like, what you said was so dark she couldn't say. And I said, that didn't happen. I still have no idea what Crystal's talking about that Sutton said that was so dark. Either Crystal's confused or I'm confused. And my money's on Crystal.
Well, I wouldn't say
I know that. That's what I was saying.
I don't know why we're going backwards. I don't want to relive that. I don't want to rehash that. When you go through something like Crystal and I did, and you grow out of it and you grow better, then let that tree stand tall. Don't try to cut the tree down. I'm remaining calm because I know that I didn't say anything that I should be ashamed of or anything dark.
We're good. We're good.
Oh,
That's okay. We're talking about the conversation and the keen topic.
real quick.
All right. So let's just get on this subject because this is just the majority base of the subject. I've come to realize that when it comes to people who are not of color, meaning Caucasian people, just like how they say based off of personal experiences, you know the saying that based off of personal, like off of one personal encounter with somebody, everyone's your it basically ruins your point of view for the rest of the people. That's what that situation is. Sutton is not racist. So I've really come to realize when people who are not of color are not racist and they're used to certain things, like they're used to the people that are in that stature of life that they're into, and they're used to being around people of color and things like that. It's kind of being put on a double-edged sword for them. Because at any given moment, just like how she said that she truly does not see color, it's like, we understand that nobody's not saying you're racist, but it's like you have to see color. Because at the end of the day, we are not on the same playing field as people who are not of color are. They always have a leg up on us, a leg up on everybody. they are always going to excel easier in life. Like, these are just the simple things that are known basically because this is what was inflicted onto society because so. And I have to give props to Garcelle for the earlier clip because Crystal took the bait and ran with it. She used this seeing color thing prior to, not on this season, but prior to this season, to speak, to get into basically a situation with Sutton, to basically give her longevity on the show. And because of that, she was able to solidify a spot for her second season, which is this season. But let's go back and just talk about the situation yet again, because Garcelle did say she did feel like if it wasn't the seeing color thing, she was going to find something to come at her strong about. And just like the rest of the world, they get to watch this stuff play out all over again, even though that they're reliving this stuff, they get to see this stuff play out. So just like how Garcelle was not there when they was talking about that whole seeing color situation, Garcelle got to see it. And if Garcelle felt any type of way towards her friend, Garcelle would have took two options, which was either educate her friend or she would have stopped being friends with Sutton. And clearly she's still friends with Sutton. So it really didn't mean that much harm to her because she had to educate her friend on the scenario. So, yes, Crystal's feelings are validated because her saying that was something like a little crazy, especially with the climate that we're in, with the, with Black Lives Matter movement, with people of color finally sticking up for their beliefs and not taking anything from anybody and putting their foot down and basically saying that, give us the respect that we deserve. And because it's such a thing, and because of how fragile this is, she has to speak on it. And thank you, Sutton, for saying that you didn't think it was something so damaging, so you're not going to give it life, because this is what they do. Kyle stirs the pot because Kyle doesn't have a storyline. Kyle lacks substance. Like, now, ever since Lisa Vanderpump left the show, Kyle has lacked substance. So now what she does is she gangs up with the rest of her crew on people, and that's how she gets her substance to remain on the show. It becomes she claims that it becomes stressful for her and whatnot, but honestly, I don't think it really becomes stressful for her because she just does nothing but sit back, ask questions, run to the next person, and then redoes the, what is it? Plagiarizes the people's answer and then make it a whole big ideal with the next person, and it's not even really that serious. And that's the type of stuff she does, but she always claims that the show is so stressful because you stir the pot wrong. And if you didn't stir the pot so wrong, you like the stuff wouldn't be so stressful for you. But because this is what you do, this is the reaction of the things that you're getting. So now you're just going to have to deal with it. But that's besides the point. As we're wrapping and seeing the color subject up, for future references for everybody, mainly you people who are not of color, just because you guys are not racist, you guys are not prejudiced, please make sure that you guys have no choice because it's just such of a big thing now. If you guys do have a choice, but you don't have a choice. You're either going to listen to it or you're not going to listen to it. And take heed to what's going on. Granted, we know a lot of you guys aren't racist, but you have to see the reality of the situation. And the reality of the situation is it's always going to be harder for people of color to make their way up in anything that they have to do because of the way that history has been taught and the way that history has been written. It was never made for the advancement of people of color. It was always made for the advancement of white people. We are deemed equality. I mean, we are deemed equal, but we are not equal. You guys deem equality, but you guys don't give equality energy. And because of that, we always get stuck in these scenarios. So until you guys officially realize this, and we're not coming hard on you guys saying that, oh, you guys have to see us for what it is or else you're being racist. We're not saying that. What we're saying is, and I think which was Crystal's point was, you have to see things for what it is. And you can't blindly say that you don't see color with the way that the world is going, because a lot of the stuff that is being publicized and being propaganda and what a lot of people are making money off of now is this whole Black Lives Matter stuff, this whole police brutality things. Like everything that plays out always stems from it being black and white. It's always something happens to black people deemed by a white person, and it's just the way of the world right now. So we do have to see color, folks. Moving on to the next spot. And I have to say, I'm living for Sutton this season. Sutton is giving that energy. Sutton is giving what it's supposed to be given. She is serving up and she is clearing and she is eating. Sutton is eating right now. Sutton probably is going to be MVP of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills this season because Sutton is giving what these girls have never gave. And ushering in this new era, because I'm going to continuously say it, was such a great move by Bravo because we are seeing stuff for what it is. The girls cannot stand on their own, so they have to get in groups, and it's always a takedown on one person. But when there's multiple people in the equation, they cannot handle. And Sutton is not giving everything life like she was giving before, and it's putting these girls through a loop because it's scary for them. The Sutton that Sutton is giving out is the Sutton that Sutton needs to be giving out from now on. This is the low bar. This I'm not going to give that life, that stale tea, that old can of worms, as she said, is the energy that she needs to be given. Because if Sutton was to be given what she was given beforehand, we would never get over these things. And let's just play Sutton.
I feel like what she alluded to made me feel like it was something that would change our dynamic if you had said something crazy. Watch your back with your new friend. That's all I'm saying.
Friendship is supposed to be about trust. And the minute Crystal felt cornered, she threw Sutton under the bus. So I don't know how this friendship is going to work.
I don't want to go backwards.
Even if there was something that said that could be not great for you.
Let's just move forward and work together, because that's sisterhood.
I'm confused. The Sutton I knew a year ago was so sensitive and emotional about everything.
You kicked me.
No, I kicked you because I didn't want to ruin the joke.
Let's
Dude,
sit down.
you're so uptight. Relax.
This helps me because I feel so uncomfortable.
He's gonna ruin my life and then say
That's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
I want all of us to be positive.
I don't know if Sutton took some happy pills tonight because there is nothing here. Zero emotion. Completely numb.
Can y'all stop talking about me behind my
I
back?
would love that.
me.
Although
And
it's
your
very
dress is on
pretty.
backwards.
It's very pretty.
That, folks, is Sutton not caring. And just like how Kyle was saying, she doesn't know what Sutton's on because Sutton is she's just not caring. Sutton has realized the game. And Sutton is playing the game the way that the game is supposed to be played. They sit back. Sutton is giving no bar holds energy. She's not giving none of these situations that they are trying to put out life. And that's great because any other person on this show, rather it was Denise Richards, whether it was Kyle's sisters, um, I mean, yeah, Denise Richards, rather if it was Kyle's sister Kim, um, rather it was Lisa Vanderpump, rather it was Eileen, rather was if it was anybody that these girls have ran off the show, it's always because they give that mean spirited energy and people latch onto it and then they respond to it. And then because it becomes so chaotic, because it's always 5 against 1, it becomes a lot. And because of what happened to Sutton last season, and because what happened to Sutton the season before, Sutton has finally realized how the game is being played and she's not playing into it. So, no, she's giving combative energy when combative energy needs to be given, but she's not giving it to stuff that doesn't need to be given, which is the same thing when a lot of people say, don't give things in life energy that does not need your energy. That's what she's doing. So it becomes kind of scary to people like Kyle and them when they're trying to play puppet master or they're trying to stir the pot or trying to get things going for their sake and they don't get that reaction. You can't get that reaction because guess what? She no longer cares. And Sutton is going to keep eating and she's going to keep serving it up and she's going to keep clearing the plates and she's going to keep sending these girls to the cleaners because she's not playing their game. And I love that about Sutton this season because Sutton is not giving these girls what they want. And it's becoming scary because guess what? Now these girls are scrambling. They're raking. They're digging potholes to try to figure out how they're going to fill up the rest of their stuff and the rest of their season with a storyline because they can't get it from who they're thinking that they were going to get it from. They thought they were going to give it to Sutton, so I said, not that. Snatchies. Find something else to do. You heard what she said at the end? Can y'all stop talking about me behind my back? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Where y'all getting at? Where y'all going to? What y'all possibly going to do? The glue for a lot of y'all storylines, a lot of those contracts, it ain't sticking. Those sticky notes is getting a little worn out. It's getting a little rusted. This is giving Fine something else to talk about. Let's get something else going here. Because guess what? Sutton is not giving that energy. And Sutton is not giving what y'all want. Y'all hate it. She don't care. Guess what? She talked to people that she needed to talk to. Y'all can't take it. So now you're going to constantly try to find something which comes on and plays on later on in the season when now people turn it and they're going against Kyle's sister Kathy, Paris Hilton's mom, and putting a wedge in between her and her family because they couldn't get it from Sutton, so now they have to get it from somebody else. Take notes. That's what a lot of these housewives don't do. A lot of these housewives don't play the game right, especially a lot of these new coming housewives. They don't play the game right, so they constantly come for new people, or they constantly team up with the old girls too quick so they can have longevity on this show. But a lot of these folks try to go against the new people. The new people don't give that energy. I mean, give that energy, but they give it off in the wrong way. So guess what? They get kicked off. Not Sutton. Not Garcelle. Not Crystal. They're doing what's supposed to be done, and they're ushering in, and I'm going to continuously keep saying it. They're ushering in that new era of Beverly Hills, and they can't take it. Let's just continuously go on with the next scene because it's just given. Can't take. You're not getting that energy.
Here's what I want to say. In that conversation, Garcelle had feelings, and instead of just defending yourself, you all of a sudden brought up Sutton that she said something so dark and horrible. I was there. And she didn't say anything like, oh my God, horrific.
Here's the thing, you don't remember it, and that's fine.
Quit telling me that, Crystal. I don't like that. I do remember.
It probably doesn't affect you. In fact, I'm sure it doesn't affect you the way it would affect me or probably Garcelle.
So you got to tell me what she said because right now, in my mind, I'm thinking the worst.
Here we go again with Crystal's word choice. Dark is a very dangerous word because it could be something that would make me question our friendship and where Sutton stands when it comes to race.
Okay, I'm going to be really clear. If we continue this conversation, I don't want to be told the word dark is too much. And then we're going to focus on a word.
Okay, well then don't say dark, just say what she said.
She said something problematic. It's obviously something that was forgivable.
Is it forgivable?
But that's why we're here.
Why did you bring it up?
Why bring up in La Quinta, though?
Right, if it's forgivable.
Because the question you asked me is very damaging.
Garcelle accusing me of setting up Sutton is a massive accusation. If someone's accused of murder, would a simple "no, I didn't" suffice? Likely not.
Can I come?
I feel...
Please come.
You're either going to say "no, I didn't," or "no, I didn't, and here's my alibi." To me, that's all I had.
Whatever.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting your conversation.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Honestly.
Here we are playing back off this topic with Crystal again. Crystal, thank you for saying what she said wasn't damaging, it was redeemable. But we have to continuously say this. Your word choices are becoming a little bad now. Crystal is one of those girls where she reads the dictionary and she takes the dictionary to a T. So when she says something about violation, she literally read what the word violation meant, and that's how she did it. And just like Garcelle said, you're saying she said something dark. Dark is a strong word in this context. In the context you're saying this, you're saying that it's the word dark. It's negative. It's like negative in capital letters. Like it's negative. And then one thing I can say, and this is the second time I'm agreeing with the other girls. Crystal does have the tendencies of using strong words. And you can't necessarily use strong words for situations like that. And also what I will say is I honestly believe Kyle. And I rarely believe Kyle. And the only reason why I say I honestly believe Kyle is because if she would have said something damaging, Kyle would have took it and ran with it. Because she does it with a lot of the girls. Anything that the girls say, or anything that she hears about the girls that could possibly get them kicked off the show, or would possibly use as a comeuppance for her, she will use. And not saying it in a bad way because it's just the way that reality TV, especially Real Housewives franchises go. They normally stick on the one bad thing. For instance, season 9 of Real Housewives of Atlanta with the whole Candy and the sex dungeon stuff, they ran with that for majority of the season. Another instance, Real Housewives of New Jersey, this whole Teresa and her new man Louis and Louis' backstory thing, it was constantly talked about throughout the entire season. So you basically have no choice but to either take it or you leave. Like you either have to deal with it or you have to go. Because you can only do two things. You can either address it and give the show a show, or you can bow out gracefully, which is what a lot of these people do because they can't take it. And Crystal, being that you're a person who does like take the words like the thing so serious, the saying it's not what you said, it's the way you say it is your issue. The way that you say stuff is not the problem, it's the way that you say it. Saying something like what she said was dark, what she said was problematic, things like that, it's serious. Because now what you're implying is that she's doing something or she said something like beyond repair. And because you won't say what she said, it even implies, like, it even gives much more of an impact to what you said because now you're not implying it. So now what she's saying had to be something serious. Like, it had to be something pretty damaging. And granted, you did say it's not something bad and it's kind of redeemable in an aspect. It's still like, you just say it. And that's the common theme for this episode. If you're not going to say it, then don't bring it up at all. And I think she was kind of in that fight or flight situation where she didn't want to talk about the situation revolving around her again because she gave it light that night before and it was so draining for her that she was like, all right, well, let's just put focus on something else, and that focus was Sutton. But you couldn't give that off because you didn't want to say what Sutton said because you know what she said is not really that damaging because it's just a seeing color situation. And because you know it's not damaging, you're going to continuously say, well, you're not going to say it because you and Sutton talked and you guys have to move past it, but you brought it up. So now that you brought it up, you're going to have to say something about it, or else we're going to keep getting scenes like this scene. And granted, either scene is going to be good or fine. I would rather you say what was said so we can just move on to the next thing. Because steady having to talk about this 2, 3, 4 episodes because now here we are about to be on the second episode of us having to talk about this. It's becoming a nuisance in a sense because you could have just simply said what she said, or you could have basically had a brief conversation about the girls not validating your feelings enough like you did the first time, and we could have left it alone. But because you didn't leave it alone, this is the energy that we have to keep continuously having to go with. So, future references, if we're not going to do something, and if you're not going to say what the situation is, let's just leave it alone. And then here we have the final clip with Sutton joining the conversation and some other unwanted opinions from some rather lackluster people joining in on a conversation. And Crystal has basically had enough.
Because normally I'm not around when it happens.
When Crystal brought up her feelings, we were all talking, and I said to her, if I can be completely honest, I felt like you were setting Sutton up. And so she said,
And I said,
no.
The conversation was not prefaced that way.
But then you said it was very dark.
Listen, we've already done that night.
Done this.
I've apologized, and I actually have learned a lot, and I've changed a lot, and I don't know what was said exactly. I just want, and I truly mean this, I cannot take it unless we just go forward. I can't.
Well, that sounds nice
I
on
know.
paper. I think that you're thinking it's worse than it was, and that's why you don't want to address it. I think Sutton is so afraid that she said something that she doesn't remember that she just wants this topic dropped. But I was there. I heard everything. That's not what happened.
Okay, can I just say something? My take on it was you, in defending yourself, opened up a can of worms, but defend yourself without saying something that you're not prepared to say.
It would have never been enough, Dorit.
But it's still not enough because you're not prepared to share.
Well, then that's enough for me.
Crystal knows what she's doing. You're creating the worst case scenario, and then to add insult to injury, you are refusing to say what that is? That's playing dirty. It's low.
The thing is, the can of worms that she opened, they are expired. They're dead.
Who's dead? The worms?
The worms are
There
dead,
wasn't.
You see why it's hard to follow? Suddenly, all I hear, worms are dead.
That's hilarious.
Kill the worms.
Trying to follow her.
See, it's hard.
I'm going to be clear about this. I get a question, I have to answer and defend myself. That's it.
Okay, so why did you use the word dark then? Why didn't you just say?
We talked about this, Garcelle. Do not keep telling me what words to use.
How is dark a strong word? It's one syllable, 4 letters. It's only one vowel. I mean, that's a pretty simple word to me.
What do you need?
I have to agree with the collective once again when it comes to the situation at Crystal. And we're going to speak on this, and then that'll be the end of the live after we're done, because that was just basically the gist of the episode. Sutton said it. She said something. She learned from it. She's fine. And once again, here we are playing because Sutton's not giving life. Just to piggyback off of what Kyle said, because I'm trying to think of the proper way to say this. Just like how Kyle was like, she doesn't think Sutton is saying too much because she doesn't know. Like, she doesn't want Sutton to be under the implication of she said something so serious that she can't come back from it. But she was there, and she doesn't and she knows that Sutton didn't say anything like damaging. Plays off of what we're talking about here. Sutton's not giving it life because obviously Sutton and Crystal talked about this. So there was no reason of rehashing it. Even though Crystal was the person who brought this to light once again, her and Sutton clearly talked about it. So because her and Sutton clearly talked about it, there's no need for Sutton to keep re-talking about this. If it was something so damaging, once again, her friend, Garcelle, would have said something to her, and her friend would have had a conversation about it. So, I don't think that Sutton is afraid that Crystal is going to say something that makes it seem like she's crazy. I just don't think Sutton cares about it at this point, because at this point, every time we're having something and every time we're doing something, it's becoming the Sutton show, and it's becoming, oh, it's Sutton and Sutton and Sutton and Sutton and Sutton and Sutton against Sutton, and like, and it's not, she's not giving it life. Like, it's nothing against Sutton. It's just like, you got to try to make something out of nothing. And that nothing that y'all are trying to make something out of, she's not giving it life. It's going to be dead. It's going to remain wherever it's at. That lemon that you're trying to turn into lemonade, it's going to stay a lemon. You know why? Because she's not going to give it life. She's not going to make it lemonade. She's not going to pour no sugar in it. She's not going to pour no water in it. She's not going to stir it. She's not going to serve it. It's going to stay a lemon. And just like Dorit was saying, you say something like you lightly open Pandora's box, but you don't want to fully release out, which was the small snippet that was released from that Pandora's box. You give light to the situation, but you don't want to give the whole sun. You want to give it a little bit, but then that's enough. And you can't do that, because you simply made it seem so bad, which once again, the theme of it is your word choice. It makes it so serious. It makes it 10 times worse. It makes it seem like she said something that she could possibly not come back from. It makes it seem like she said something that's going to have to become a serious topic. It makes it look like it's going to be something that's potentially not going to allow her to come back on the show the next season. Like, that's the vibe that you're putting out there. And because you guys talked about it and you know that it's not that serious, you should have not just said anything. Like Dorit said, it's playing dirty. it's not fair because guess what? Now everybody is trying to contrive a story to put together based off of something that you said because you're not telling them what fully happened. It's like giving a 2 sentence summary. It's like, all right, let's use Endgames for instance. Thanos snapped the Infinity Gauntlet, wiped out half of the universe. The guys brought the Infinity Gauntlet back, saved the rest of it, and then undid what Thanos did. It doesn't give life to anything. We don't get to know, well, how did they get the gauntlet? Like, well, how did they, like, where was Thanos at during all of that? It's like something like that. Like, you're saying what she did, but what did she say? What was so damaging? How are you and Garcelle friends with her if she said something that was so damaging and so dark? Just like how you said it was problematic or it was something like irredeemable, you should have just said something that had a poor. She had a lapse of judgment. She used the wrong word. We talked about it with her. Me and her, fine. That's what it was. Sutton was, Sutton was miseducated. So we had to get her together. It's a lot easier. And then to get mad because Garcelle said, well, why use the word dark? And say we said that we're not going to talk about my choice of words. It's like, yes, we don't want to talk about your choice of words, but we have to talk about it because you keep using the word dark. Like the word dark itself makes the thing sound 10 times worse than what it is. Problematic makes it seem like, all right, well, it's something that she can come back from. But saying something is dark gives the negative connotation that what she said was completely unimaginable. You wouldn't think it would never come out of her mouth. Like that's what it implies. And for you to get mad because she said that, it was kind of like, girl, all right, calm down with this microaggression. Like, roll it back some. Like, adjust that tone. Like, that's what it's given. Because at the end of the day, your word choice, because you use the words in the literal definition of things, your word choice makes it bad. Like, it makes it a lot worse than what it is because, truthfully and honestly, you should have been a writer. Like, that's the profession you should have, like, kind of went into because you use stuff for the way that it is. Like, Crystal is very good at reality TV for her second time around. She is good at it, but it's still some things that she do have to fix because stuff like that gets the viewers mad. Stuff like that gets the big boss mad. Stuff like that gets the higher ups mad. Like you can't say stuff and then not want to allude to what happened because, like Kyle said, it was nothing damaging because if it was something damaging, she would have known. Kyle would have said it. If she wouldn't have said it, she would have said it to somebody who would have used that ammunition, aka Erika. Like that's the type of stuff she like. That's what it would have happened. But because it didn't happen, and because she steady saying like she knows that it wasn't nothing damaging because she was there, it's fine. You're saying that she was drunk because she wouldn't understand. Like we wouldn't understand. Like if it was like it's like how you said like it's not something damaging to y'all, but it'd be like a little harsh for me or a little harsh for Garcelle. Basically, like lets us know what it gets. Like it gives life to what it is. It gives like a small hint to what it is. And instead of you saying it and just passing it along, it makes it hard. And it makes it hard for you. It makes it hard on you because now when it is something serious, people aren't going to believe you because of what you're putting out there. That's one. And then secondly, it makes it hard for the people involved because now you're implying that they did something so damaging and now this is their reputation on the line. Regardless, you did say that it was something redeemable. Still, what's redeemable for you is not redeemable for others. What's redeemable for you is not redeemable for the next folks. So she could have said something, you would have been like, all right, well, y'all talked about it and y'all discussed it and let's move on for it. But a lot of the other folks, especially the internet, the way that the internet is set up now, would not give her a break. So we just have to use proper word choices here. As much as you don't want to use the word choices, you don't have to dumb it down. And just say it in a word, say it in a setting that it's not harsh. Say it into a setting where it basically gives like you get what you have to get from it. You don't have to scramble, you don't have to dig to get into it. Like it's that simple. So once again, that was another live. We'll be live tomorrow with a review of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yes, Real Housewives of Atlanta is back. It took this little break. So now Atlanta and Beverly Hills are on the same time frame with the episodes. And we're back on it tomorrow. We'll be talking about Drew again. We'll be talking about Sanya. We'll be getting into all the good things that that Real Housewives have to offer of Atlanta people. And we'll be back again on Sunday. Dang, a 3-dayer this week. We'll be back again on Sunday with the 5th episode review for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and we'll be talking about the situation again because this is another topic of discussion that has to take place with everybody on Crystal's case now. So once again, stay prayed up. I know mental health month awareness is over, but protect your mental health. This is gun awareness month, and what a way to kick it off with all the stuff that has going on. So send out prayers to all those affected by everything that's been going on these past few weeks. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So be here or be square, or you can just go on our YouTube page at the TSL Show and watch up. And if you guys are new to this and you're seeing it, we have about, this would make, let's see, this would make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This would be 6. So tomorrow will be our 7th. So you have 6 things, about an hour and a half long each, to catch up on all the things that be, here with us. And as always, please hit the hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share this with people that you know that are into things like this, and make sure you guys start commenting in the chat. Just like you guys can comment on here on the YouTube stuff, we have a live chat. Your live chat will pop up on my screen, and I will be able to display your comments, for instance. It's like this. And we'll be able to, talk to you guys. And then, as we go further along, we'll be able to drop the link in here so you guys can come up and give your short opinion also. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 o'clock.